Hello, I'm Numan Haris. You are watching a very special episode of Agenda AWANI. Now, the quest to become a high-income developed nation requires a few moving parts and requires many things to fall into place. Now, the ones that we always hear about are the consumer-facing issues, such as digital economy and things like that, and improving the quality of life generally for Malaysians. But the country has also made strides in other fields as well. Now, following the last launch of their satellite, the Measat 3D, back in June 2022, Measat has been recognized as Regional Satcom Operator of the Year 2023. Now, this is what we want to talk about today. How do we go, or how does Measat go beyond connectivity and humanize the digital divide by empowering the communities they serve through the advancements in technology? This is what we want to focus on today in a very interesting episode where I have two guests in the studio. Mr. Reza Hassan is the chairman of Measat Global Berhad, and Mr. Yao Cheong Lim is the COO or Chief Operating Officer of Measat Satellite Systems Sdn Berhad. Gentlemen, welcome to Astro AWANI.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to start with Reza first. The Euroconsult award. Euroconsult awarded Measat the Regional Satcom Operator of the Year for 2023. How does Measat's technology specifically benefit Malaysians, and what role does it play in enhancing Malaysia's technological capabilities?
Thanks very much. So we're very, very proud to have achieved the award. It's a very worldwide recognition for us. We feel that we have an important part to play in what you are saying. We want to make sure that no Malaysian is left behind in the digital economy. A lot of the things that we living in the city take for granted, actually it's a luxury in areas of the outskirts of Malaysia.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we connect every single person out there, and nobody should be left behind with simple things like even digital banking and e-commerce. So we want to be there. And it's great that we have the worldwide recognition that basically highlights our efforts in doing these things.
Right. When you talk about the launching of satellites, right, it often sounds like a very technological and technical thing, but it's interesting to see and explore how it benefits the common man on the street. We'll touch that a bit later, but I want to go to Mr. Yao first in terms of, can you provide insights into the accomplishments that led to this recognition, to this award, and how has it impacted Measat's mission and the satellite telecommunication industry as a whole?
So when we look at this award itself, it's not like it's a single event that we've been recognized as the winner of this award, and actually it's a series of achievement that we have been work on very, very hard, the entire Measat team to achieve this. Just to give you some background, that we have been working on this connecting the unconnected through our brand name called Connect Me. It's about since 5 years ago. So we have been working very hard to connect the last 3-5% in the rural area. Today we have already connected close to 4,000 plus remote villages, and that represent roughly about 500,000 population
all across the country.
All across the country nationwide. And of course, with the launch of our Measat 3D last year itself, that basically help us to give us one step further to basically provide a faster connectivity. And in this case, we're talking about close to 200 megabit per second. That is kind of like a 5G equivalent connectivity. And not only that itself, provide connectivity is just the first step of it. And more importantly is that from there itself, we also start to provide the e-commerce and also the telemedicine, that kind of application. And as Reza mentioned, our ultimate aim is to become the rural service provider and provide other e-commerce services like the e-banking and so on and so forth.
Right. At the end of the day, it always comes back to empowering the people, right? And talking about people, Reza, Measat, people may not know, has a fully Malaysian workforce.
Yes.
So how does having this present or give you a unique advantage to contribute to the company's success, and what initiatives are in place to further develop local talent in your industry and also in your company?
Yeah. So we're very proud that we are 100% Malaysian. homegrown. We've been so, and we've stuck to that for the last 30 years. I mean, we've been around since 1992, launched our first satellite in 1996. And we recognize that this is an area which is important for the country and in terms of nation building. So we want to make sure that we have a very good sustainable pipeline of qualified Malaysians in this space. Apart from making sure that there's clear succession planning, we even work with all the higher educational institutions. We have internship programs. At the same time, we even try and develop new programs with them, with the view that, hey, going forward, people know that it's an exciting space. Come join us. They can see that there is a future, and they see the vision, right? They know that, hey, we have to make sure that everybody gets connected, and everybody should have the same facilities to basically empower themselves, so that they don't get left behind. You know.
I think the important point also is this proves this debunks the myths that we don't have enough local talent in high value industries such as the satellite or telecommunications industry. I think Measat is a real life example that you can utilize local human capital and achieve great milestones.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So I want to come back to the benefits that your initiatives have actually achieved. Yeah, can you provide concrete, specific examples of how Measat's initiatives have impacted the industry and also the communities across the country?
So as I mentioned itself, a lot of like application and whatnot, it rely on the connectivity. So as a first step itself, we have to make sure that close the digital gap in the rural area, and we have put in the necessary infrastructure for the community, and we are also from there we are not just provide the infra, we actually go down into the ground itself, our installer, our partner who share our vision. So we physically, be present in the rural area to teach them, what the technology can do, and also that, from the technology itself, what they can leverage it. So for example, we work with, some of the startup to provide the e-commerce, the logistic. I think this is we have one program in post-Sindurut, in Kuala Lumpur, whereby we basically work with the local. We set up a center whereby we can deliver the goods and whatnot into the villages, and at the same time we also teach them what they're going to do with those goods. So rather than it's just as a recipient of the whatever aids that we provided, then they can start to make use of those the technology to basically advertise and market their goods. So because of the arrangement that we have with our partner, so the goods that they have produced or whatnot, then you can sort of like market it in the e-commerce platform and basically deliver it to the urban area. So with this activity itself, we have so far created like more than 150 job in the rural area, and we also very focus on empowering those the women entrepreneur. So whereby they can sort of like be more independent, and our aim is to expand this program to the 3,000 sites that we have nationwide. So we hope that with this itself that our contribution to the rural community, i.e. to create that the digital economy in the country.
Right. These are communities who did not have the technology or access before Measat came into the picture, right?
Yes.
Now, Reza, when you talk about serving the underserved in terms of giving them connectivity, one always remembers companies like Starlink. They're always in the news recently. So can you draw parallels and also differences as to what you're doing compared to Starlink and how you differ from foreign companies such as Starlink?
Yeah. key difference is that we're on the ground, right? We can really optimize depending on the customer's final needs.
Right.
That's one very key difference. We can actually we work with partners, and they actually talk to the customer, and there's a follow-on service as well. If there's
Customized solutions as well.
yes, if it's not working as what they thought that it would be, you can always call us, and we'll come back and actually deal with it. We're on the ground, right? Number two is we work with the customer's existing equipment. As in, you don't have to buy a set-up box, you don't have to buy something, to be connected at the last mile. We take care of that.
Right. Nothing extra.
No, so if they have a tablet, they just, buy the voucher and that's it. You don't need to get a set-up box, you don't need to get another dish. We do that all. Because we want to make sure that we reach them where they are required, and then we optimize in accordance with their needs, right? A university will have a different need from a village, right? A village will need just certain areas of coverage, whereas a university will want more in the library, for example, or somewhere else, right?
This is not just from the start. I think, as you've mentioned, if you started, say, the initiative and you find that it requires tweaks or
Yes.
improvements along the way,
Yeah.
you're flexible to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So we have a service center. People can just call, and we'll come in and we'll make sure we optimize on that.
I want to talk about the Measat's initiative, Kampong Digital 65.com, which aims to bridge the digital divide in rural communities, which you've alluded to briefly before. Can you share more about the targets and the achievements of Kampong Digital 365?
So as I mentioned earlier, we have started off with the proof of concept initiative in this post-Sindurun, and that has been very successful. And today we have already expanded this concept in 5 others kampong orang asli, and the aim is that to expand it further. So this program itself, apart from we work with our partner, but we also aim to create like a CSR program for other large corporate to participate. I think very often is that corporate, they have the fund, but they are not quite sure how to deal with that, and we will be the sort of the party to help to bridge the gap. So as I said, everything that you do in the e-commerce, the connectivity is the utmost important thing. So we have that in place, and then we will bring along all the other application to the rural area to basically to bridge the gap. From our end itself, we work with different technologies, and also that we bring together the different sort of like application to the rural area.
Right. Do you often face challenges in, say, adoption or awareness? Because you're talking about rural areas, kampong folk who may not be the most technologically savvy people. So do you face that challenge, and how do you often overcome it?
I say it's yes and no. I think the perception is that for the rural people, they may not be tech savvy, but you will be surprised that they are relatively comfortable with the technology.
Right.
And I think that's also one other area that we differentiate from other service provider, whereby we go there, we are not just say that okay, I install this thing and then we just left. So we go there, we install the thing, and then our partner and our installer, they will actually teach the user itself how to use the technology. Not only like to say that okay, how to like you can connect to the Wi-Fi or whatnot, but we also teach them to make sure that provide more education that don't gonna scam or this kind of thing, right? So I think that is a very important part of it. Be wise to use the technology.
Right. Yeah. Reza, Yao mentioned about partnerships and collaborations just now. So sticking to with the Kampong Digital 365 program, how do you approach partnerships and collaborations, and what do these initiatives play? What role do these initiatives play in the company's broader strategy?
I think it's a win-win-win situation. We need a partner to be on the ground and also train the end customer or the user to optimize fully what they need, right? Measat started off as very much a B2B type business, right? We were just basically selling connectivity to corporates, right? However, now we've seen the need and therefore we've pivoted to seeing a B to B2C type arrangement. But so therefore we do need a partner on the ground who has the expertise to enable, right? And at the end of the day, it makes sense for them because they get traction on their platform. It makes sense for the customer because they never would have thought that, hey, this is possible, right? That I could sell this or I could get this goods delivered to my kampong. And of course, from our point of view, we then it goes well with our pivoting strategy, right? We can't do it alone. So that's why I say it's a win-win-win sort of situation and strategy for us.
Yeah, we've talked about real life scenarios, improving the quality of lives and connectivity for people, common folk. But can you share some examples of how Measat's technology has been utilized in various sectors in the industries and how this specialization caters to the unique needs of specific sectors?
Okay, maybe I can just draw on an example. Like, so last year about this time in December, so we have a very unfortunate situation in Batangkali.
Yep.
So Measat, we received call from the ministry to say that, hey, this is a situation. And with the technology that we have itself, we are probably the first one that responded and arrived into the incident area.
Right. It's funny because I can vouch for that because I was actually there.
Yeah.
When you guys arrived to set it up.
So before any other service provider around.
Yep.
So I think that's the beauty of the the technology that we have. And very quickly we set up the Wi-Fi connectivity for the first respondent and also for the press itself. So then thereafter the service provider, the telco service provider arrived, and then together with them we set up all those like a mini tower or whatnot and provide the connectivity. So this is one example of it. Second one itself is also we work very closely with those. This is more on the enterprise. We work very closely with the oil and gas company, whereby all this like a offshore platform itself, they lack of connectivity, and we have been working very closely with them to provide those connectivity to them, and. Of course, we are also supporting various government agencies. For example, the Ministry of Education, some of those, the government network itself, we play a big part of it. Yeah.
Right. I remember when we were at Batangkali, I was at Batangkali, the first day I was there, we had trouble to actually broadcast the news live from location. We literally had zero signal, and after you came along, it was all fine. So thank you for that. But talking about natural disasters, now we are facing floods. We are facing the MTL, the monsoon. Is your technology utilized in actually managing that or giving intel or information to the authorities in flood management or mitigation endeavors?
So in that aspect itself, the satellite communication technology that we have, we are able to do that. But at the same time, we are also exploring other type of satellite communication. In this case, probably we call it like a Earth observation. So that's another area that we have been putting a lot of focus on it. And we have been working with different government agency to see that how we can uplift, or upgrade the technology that we have in the country, such that we can address the issue more effectively.
Right. So Reza, looking ahead to 2024, we are at the end of 2023. Obviously, can you provide some insights into Measat's vision and strategic priorities? Simply put, what's next?
I mean, there's still a lot to do, as you know. We see that basically the digital divide is still there, but there's a huge light at the end of the tunnel because we know that as we build up, we're solving that issue, and then we open up new possibilities for education, for healthcare, for enablers for e-commerce, and so forth. So we're very excited to be able to fulfill that, together with what the government's initiatives are. Right, we work very closely with the MCMC. We know exactly what the needs are, and then we prepare our resources accordingly. So
Right.
we're looking forward to that.
Right. Yeah. So what are the main challenges that remain in your eventual quest to close the digital divide next year and also in the coming years?
I think that this is not something that we can address it immediately. It's going to be like it's an ongoing effort that we are going to do. So connectivity is one part, and again how we can fully leverage on the technology that we put in place in this rural area and sort of the uplift the economy of the rural area. I think that's one area that we are really focusing on, and we don't just see ourselves as like a connectivity or technology company. I think more importantly, we want to position ourselves as the rural service provider. It can be like any sort of service to the rural area.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to both of you. Thank you so much, Reza Hassan, the chairman of Measat Global Berhad, and also Yao Cheong Lim, the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of Measat Satellite Systems, Sendirian Berhad. Now, I think we always talk about unsung heroes in terms of individuals, but in terms of companies, I think Measat is right up there in terms of unsung heroes, because you provide services that most people can't see, but in the end have profound impacts on the daily lives of people, especially those in the rural areas. So thank you for that, and keep up the good work. And thank you so much to you for watching Agenda Awani. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.